the last time that I was on this site was my graduation project jury, and I was an architecture student, and it is the first time for me to be here as an architect. That is why I steal your excitement, and it is a very great opportunity for me to meet with you. Thank you again. The topic of the speech for all of us was about competitions, but actually I'd like to mention some kind of topics and some kind of tips about the architectural education process based on my own experiences. Maybe with the help of these tips, you can get the best version of yourself, and maybe you can get better to survive in the architectural education. Competitions are generally held by institutions, governments, or municipalities, or maybe sometimes by individuals. The aim of the competitions actually not just only in competitions, in design studios and in basic design as well. They are giving you a design problem, and each of us are trying to propose a solution for a same problem with different levels of perspectives, of course. And the best version of the solution generally wins the competition. Actually, how I started to get into competitions was a little bit more complicated than I expected, because I was in second grade of architectural education, and I was not that much sure of joining competitions, because we were taking at least 5 or sometimes 6 or more courses during the semester. And I wasn't so sure that I could have time for all of these subjects, because the courses are also important for me. But the best part of the competitions is that there is nothing you can lose. You either win or maybe you don't win anything, but you may not realize. But generally, you win something that you realize later. So I try to go into competitions, and actually there is something about the design studios. In the first week of the design studios, as I said, they are giving you a design problem, and they are expecting you to come up with different and original ideas. And the first week of this process was a little bit more problematic than we expect, because it is hard not just for me, but it was hard for all of us to come up with different ideas. But with competitions, after joining some couple of competitions, I realized that this problematic part of the studio courses was coming a little bit more easier to me. And after joining some kind of competitions, the process of proposing a solution for a same problem comes more easier, and your proposals will become more qualitative, I guess. That is why I suggest you to join competitions. It is helpful not just for studio courses, but also in other courses as well. How you can actually get prepared for the competitions is maybe it may be helpful for you. There are lots of sites on the internet that you can get their help. For example, let's take the Architectura, for example. Maybe you all know this site. Maybe you can take this as an exercise that you do every day. For the first year, I suggest you to have a background of joining competitions. Maybe you shouldn't just start a competition tomorrow or this year. Maybe you can just have a background or have an idea about the competitions. Maybe before you get into bed, or while you are waiting for the bus, for example, just try to read as much as you can about the projects or about the build projects on some countries, on the Architectura or Design Arch Daily. There are thousands of sites about this. At the end of the year, you'll get information and idea about the competitions, competed projects, and also awarded projects as well. And maybe you can try to put yourself into the designers. Maybe you can think that what would I do different if I were the designer of the project? Or maybe you can start to criticize their projects, and you can get your best version by the way. So my suggestion for you about the competitions is to have a background this year about having an idea about the competitions, and maybe you can start joining also in the next years. It will be very helpful for your design studios as well. I don't have much to say about my architectural education process, but I have just a little bit to say, and then I'm going to finish the speech. The first photo is my first entry to campus on the left-hand side, and the second one is my last entry to campus. These two photos are actually very similar to each other. In the first one, I really didn't know anything about architecture. And also in the second one, I still don't know much about architecture because architectural education is actually a sense of architecture. They are not going to teach you everything, and also they shouldn't teach you everything because it is not the aim of architectural education. They are just going to give you the sense of architecture. But my suggestion about architectural education for you is that you can try to learn as much as you can. Don't hesitate to ask questions about anything, about the courses, competitions, about your projects, magazines, books, everything. Just try to ask as much as you can because the people in the school are willing to help you. And I was always asking questions. İpek Hoca and my hojas, I really know this problem. I was always mailing them, always ask questions. But it was my way of learning things. That is why I think I am getting my best version each day. And I'm suggesting you to do like this. Thank you very much for inviting us today, hocam. Thank you.
Yarışma pratiği size sadece akademik anlamda veya daha sonrasında profesyonel kariyer anlamında değil, aynı zamanda günlük hayatta eleştirel düşünce düzeyinizi arttırma bakımından da destekler. Ben yarışmalara girmeye başladığım zaman 2. sınıftaydım ve dönem içinde yaklaşık 5-6 ders alıyorduk. Bunlardan biri de tasarım dersiydi. Tasarım derslerinde ilk birkaç hafta zor geçer çünkü her zaman her proje için yeni bir soruna yeni bir çözüm üretiyoruz. Ve aslında bu süreci aşmak genellikle hepimiz için çok zor. Ama yarışmalar sayesinde bu süreci çok daha kolay ve etkili bir şekilde aşabildiğimi fark ettim. Ama sadece stüdyo derslerinde değil, diğer derslerde de yarışmaların bu eleştirel düşünce düzeyi bakımından katkılarını hissettiğim için çok yüksek bir genel not ortalamasıyla mezun olabilmeyi başardım. 3. sınıfın sonunda ofis stajı yapıyoruz, zorunlu bir staj. Bu stajda da başvurduğum benim ofisler arasında yarışma tabanlı ofisler vardı. Ve mutlaka başvuru portfolyonuzda yarışma geçmişiniz olduğunu gösteren birkaç proje olması veya varsa ödül aldığınızı görmeleri her zaman sizi diğer adaylar arasında birkaç adım öne çıkarır. Ve ben de bu sayede çok istediğim ve staj yaparken çok eğlendiğim bir ofise girmeye hak kazanmıştım. Aynı zamanda profesyonel anlamda da ben geçtiğimiz Haziran ayında mezun oldum ve Eylül ayında geçen ay Büyükşehir Belediyesi tarafından düzenlenen bir yarışmada birincilik ödülü aldık. Bu anlamda da bu yarışma sadece mimarlık alanında değil, diğer sektörlerden insanlarla da tanışmamıza ön ayak oldu. Yarışmalar her zaman biri diğerinin ön ayağı oluyor. Bir yarışma bittiğinde bir sonrakine girerken her zaman o bir öncekinin devamı niteliğinde gerçekleşiyor. Ve birbirini destekliyor yarışmalar. Bu sayede aslında sürekli kendimizin en iyi versiyonu olmaya çalışıyoruz. Bu anlamda yarışmaların akademik olarak günlük hayatta ve profesyonel anlamda katkılarını hissediyoruz diyebiliriz.